Hello, this video is going to go over how to use the historical bull bear key price level and historical resistance and support levels in the day trading GPS futures CFDs daily key levels indicator. Okay, so first off, we have this on S&P 500 futures on a 5-minute chart, and what you want to do is go to the user control panel. It really doesn't matter what session that you're on. You just pick the session that you primarily use. You can certainly look at all three sessions when doing this, um, but you may just want to start off with the one that you use most commonly. I, for example, use the London session the most, so that's what I'm going to start off with. Okay, so the first thing you want to do in using this is we need to make the lines right only, and right now they're set to both extended to the left and the right. So you come down here, we have display settings, line extension options, you select right only. So that the next thing that we want to do is we're going to go down near the bottom of the user control panel, and we're going to turn on historical settings, and we're going to enable both show historical bull bear key price level and show historical R and S levels. So first off, we'll look at a longer time frame chart. Let's go ahead and get rid of this price label here, or price line. Okay, so this is going to be an historical view session by session. And again, we're currently looking at the London session. So each one of these, where you see the lines either go down or back up, is the start of a session. So the London session comes out at, the levels are displayed on your chart at 1. So each one of these starts at 1 a.m. On the other sessions, for example, the New York RTH session, the levels come out on your screen at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that's when, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. And then the Asia comes out at 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, so the way that this can be helpful to you is you can get an idea of the daily ranges on a particular symbol, of how it reacts on levels during those previous sessions, and the range of during those sessions. So if you keep looking back, again, just keep in mind that where you see these lines do like this is the start of the session. This is the start of this session, start of this session, etc., etc. So you can go back and you can sort of get a feel for the average daily ranges and how the pattern of behavior has been in the previous sessions for this particular symbol that you're looking at, and then how it reacts off certain levels. The line labels here do not show on the previous sessions. So this was for the last session. We haven't gotten into the Asia session yet for today. Today is Sunday the 19th. And when 6 p.m., it's currently 5:39 here, Eastern Time. When 6 p.m. Comes, then the Asia session levels would be for this. But we're looking at the London ones right now. And again, you can go back and look at different days. So as you can see, there's some days where it drops down even more. So this would have been a day that you would have wanted to have all 10 levels on. And we can show you that by just going ahead and turning on all 10. Just so we can look at this one particular day here. Okay, so as an example, you can see on this particular day, Wednesday, December 18th, 2024, we had, I believe this was the Fed announcement day. As you can see, we had a move in the last 2 hours all the way from the bull bear key level, closing below it, all the way down to S10. Then it bounced off of S10, went back to the level above it. So this is why we have 10 levels available that you can enable, because there are going to be days when stuff like this happens. And if we ever get a period of time, this is a Fed day, but there can be other reasons why it could happen besides Fed days, like if you go back to the COVID era, where they had the first 6 weeks of COVID and the market was going nuts every single day. And those would have been days where, every day it was trading, you know, R7 to R10 or S7 to S10, going down that. Normally, 6 levels is going to be sufficient on 80 to 90% of your days. But again, these levels are here in case we get an event or news, or uh, if we happen to be in a market that is going nuts for a period of time. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning here. Just keep in mind, if you're looking at a smaller time frame chart, such as 5 minutes, that can give you a more granular view of the complete day, starting with the start of the session, which in this case, 1 a.m. So we're on the London session. But you can squinch up the chart. Just keep in mind, if you have, 5 minutes, there's going to be a lot more bars, so it may be harder to read many days at one time. So maybe 1 or 2 days at a time when you have it on a 5 minute. Obviously, in a 1 minute chart, you'd be looking at one day only, taking up the entire thing. But if you look at that, because if you squinch it all up, just to show you can look at several days at once. It's just not, the candles are going to be really squunched up. But if you just want a general overview of extremes of where it was going, and you just want to look at several days at a time, you can certainly do that. And if we go out to, say, a 15-minute, it's kind of a nice in-between time frame that can show you several at once, and you're still able to see the individual candles. So if you trade a different one, say the New York, that's the levels that you primarily trade off of. Those come out at 9 a.m. So again, keep in mind that these were on a 15-minute chart. 9 a.m. is going to be the start of this, the start here, start here and the start here, signified by these lines that do this. Then, of course, you can also look at the Asia. As I said earlier, it's only 5:44 here, so that's why you're seeing 116 on here, because this was the last Asia session that started on Thursday, January 16th. There is no Asia session on Fridays on futures because the futures markets are closed Friday evening and of course Saturday, and they don't start up till Sunday. So that's why this says 116 instead of 117, because this session started on 6 p.m. Thursday, January 16th. Whereas if you go to the other ones, say like to New York, it'll say Friday the 17th because that's when this session started at 9 a.m. on the 17th. And the same thing for the London session. Okay, so again, the point of this video is just to show you how to use the historical bull and bear key price level and historical resistance and support levels to help you get a better idea on previous sessions price action and the ranges within those previous sessions and the reactions off of the levels in those previous sessions as well. All right, thank you, and I hope you have a good evening.